You had two x's in your original equation.
You never did a y?
Never had a y. You never had it equal 1.
What?
You didn't have it equal 1.
I don't know.
I told you I gave you 4 out of 5. All right, so here's how this works. And if the rest of you want to, the ones who already know the problem, you can sit there and work on 5 right now, but to instruct on number 4. So, do you have to draw a sketch? No. Do I think it's extremely helpful? I do. It depends on kind of your feeling on whether you need it. If you consistently keep getting them wrong without a picture, I would say start drawing a picture. But if you can get it right without it and you really don't feel like you need it, then by all means. But I'm going to put a center at 3, 2. And then really I'm trying to figure out where this box is. So A is 6 and B is 3. So my box is going to have to go 6 up and 6 down, or 6 left and 6 right, or 3 up, 3 down, or 3 left, 3 right. I'm not really sure until they tell me this. And the transverse axis, which we learned on day 1, is really the major axis, and it connects the vertices. So if it's connecting the vertices, that's the two like vertexes of the parabola. And if it's horizontal, that means that it's kind of opening left, right. And since A always goes under my first term, I need to go 6 units to the left and 6 units to the right for kind of this end of my box. But I could see where you wouldn't need the picture here, because by having a horizontal transverse axis, you already know it's opening left, right. So you know that your x comes first and your y comes second. And because the center is 3, 2, you know that's x minus 3 squared and y minus 2 squared. And then your a squared is always under the first. So people made that 36. And your b is always under the second, or your b squared, I should say. So people made that 9. And you definitely could do that equation without the picture. But to kind of further develop this picture, I went 6 left and 6 right, 3 up and 3 down, and then connect this rectangle. Draw your diagonal asymptotes. And then your parabola is opening left, right, since the major axis is horizontal. It's opening horizontally. No, that's it. Oh, Allie, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Oh, instead of the A and the B. Yeah, the center has nothing to do with the stretch. The center is more just the shift right 3, up 2. All right, so 5's going to switch up the information. Okay, find the equation of the hyperbola with one vertex at 0, 2. Okay, and so from that vertex, I don't really know much, but as soon as they tell me that I have a focus at 0, 3, what does that tell me about the way this hyperbola opens? Is it opening up left, right, or up, down? Up, down. If this is your vertex and this is a focus, your focus always has to be contained within that bowl-like parabola. And so the other focus being 0, negative 3 tells me that this is centered where? What's the center? Right, centered at the origin. The center is always halfway between the two foci. It's also halfway between the two vertices. So based on positive 3, negative 3, I know that that's my center. And so if one vertex is 0, 2, the other vertex has to be 0, negative 2. So I know that this thing opens up, down. So what letter comes first? X or Y? Y. So Y minus 0 squared. Do I know how far it's stretched in the Y direction? 2. So 2 squared is 4. So A is 2. Minus, because hyperbolas are always minus. Then X minus 0. Do I know how far it's stretched horizontally? Not yet, right? There's no indication of that. I do know the distance from the center to the focus, which is my C value. What is my C value? 3. And so the equation that I use to find B is the Pythagorean theorem. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 4 plus B squared equals 9. So B is going to equal root 5, which means B squared is 5. And then it equals 1. How's that? Okay, so we just changed up the information we were given on that. Tommy? Yes, you don't need the minus 0. Okay? Last one. Take a couple minutes to get started on it, and then we'll see how far you make it and where your points of conflict are. Gotcha. Right. And then they don't call it in. Oh, she did. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Because I purposely didn't kind of leave. Yeah, so go get the cell folder. Yeah, she did. Okay, good. I'm lucky I had to. Like once I just hear from my friend and report the guy. Yeah. Michael, back over. You done? Raise your hand if you're done with this. Mike, you're not done? Tommy, you're not done? Okay, tell me what you have so far. Say it again. Y minus what? Okay, from the top. What do you have?
X minus 1 squared
Yep.
minus y.
And you're saying you don't know what the denominators are? Okay. Alyssa, what do you have so far? Okay. Alyssa, what do you have so far? So you still have x minus 1 squared. You have it over 4. Okay, did anybody have anything different? 2 under the... You... Okay. All right, so I don't know if that's right. I haven't done it yet, but it sounds like most people are probably. Yeah. All right, so from the top with the center, (1, -2), and if the focus is 4, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, that tells me that this opens left-right, right? I'm not going to label it. It takes up too much room. But center. So that tells me that it opens left-right. So the structure of having the x squared come first is right. So this x minus 1 squared and then the y plus 2 squared using the center and just knowing that it opens left-right is good. They only gave me one of the foci, but I can just easily get to the other one. That was 3 units to the right, so 3 units to the left would be the other one. And then a vertex would be at 3, -2, which means another one would be at -1, -2. So I don't know how wide the rectangle is opening, but I know that it does something like that. And I know A is 3. Uh-oh. No, I'm sorry. A is 2. Yeah, you're right. A is 2, so A squared would be 4. A is your distance from your center to your vertex. So A is 2, C is 3, and then, yes, B comes from A squared plus B squared. C is the distance from your center to your focus. Same thing in ellipses. C is the distance from your center to your center to your focus. The difference with ellipses, though, is that the formula is not the Pythagorean theorem. The formula for ellipses was this one. Look up here just so we remember. That's not the Pythagorean theorem. It's a different arrangement. Really, it's which side are you going to put the b squared on? So for hyperbolas, it's just like the quadratic formula, and for ellipses, the b's on the other side. Okay? But the meaning of A, B, and C are all the same. A is the major axis, B is the minor axis, and C is the difference between the center and focus. So A squared plus B squared equaling C squared gives you B equals √5, which makes that 5. Good? Okay. So So your homework is going to be the odds from the sheet. Maybe, will you give that to Allie? Yeah. And then Faith, give it to Now you're too full? I was. I'm good now. It was really toasty. Then we opened the two and it was a quick. Did you not get one?
No, I was gonna ask you, is there any chance you could